Welcome to the Effortless English Show with the world's #1 English teacher, AJ Hogue, where AJ's more than 40 million students worldwide finally learn English once and for all, without the boring textbooks, classrooms, and grammar drills. Here's AJ with a quick piece to help you learn to speak fluent English effortlessly.
Hi, I'm AJ Hogue, the author of Effortless English. Learn to speak English like a native. Go to effortlessenglishclub.com. Join my VIP program at effortlessenglishclub.com. Live on Facebook. A message to you, video watcher. If you're watching on video, you need to listen to my audio podcast. You need to subscribe to my audio-only podcast. The audio-only podcast. Because that's most of my show. Mostly I do audio. Effortless English, in general, is an audio system, audio-based system. My lessons are mostly audio lessons. Learn with your ears. Learn with your ears, an important rule of Effortless English. That rule is in my book, Learn with Your Ears. So my audio podcast, the audio podcast is great because it's a lot. Like today, my new podcast today, my new show, audio only, 50 minutes, 50 minutes of only audio. I do an audio podcast almost every day, except when I'm traveling. I was just traveling. I was in Hong Kong, and I did an audio podcast while I was in Hong Kong. No videos during that time, but I still did some audios. So you're missing a lot. You're missing so much if you only watch on video. I like to give you long shows, lots of audio, because it gives you lots of practice for your listening. And video, YouTube doesn't like long videos, but podcasting is perfect for that, the audio. So how do you do it? Once again, let me review. How do you get my audio podcast? Step one, what do? Get a podcasting app. Get a podcasting app on your phone or device. Here's one. Let me just pull one put on the screen if you're watching. Now, of course, if you're listening, you already have this. So please help other people. If you listen to my podcast already, please get on my Twitter, AJ Hogue, AJHOGE. Get on my Instagram. Please help people find my audio podcast, because they're missing so much of the Effortless English Show. So you go to an app. Here's one example. TuneIn, TuneIn, tunein.com. That's one app. It's an app. They have lots of stuff on there. You can find sports shows on there. You can find lots and lots of podcasts and news stuff. Huge amounts of stuff. They have a free version. So just go to tunein.com and download their app for your device. That's step one. Now there are other ones. There's Overcast. There's Castbox. Podcast Addict. These are all podcasting apps. If you just go to the App Store, podcast app, you'll get a lot of results. Just pick one that you like. There are many, many, many free ones. So that's step one. Put the podcasting app on your device, your phone, your tablet, and your laptop. Step two, search in the app. Inside the app, there'll be a search function. A search bar, a little space for search. So inside the app, open the app, and then search for Effortless English Podcast. Effortless English Podcast. When you search that, my podcast will come up in the result. Probably it's the top result. You'll see it's got a picture of me. My official podcast has my picture. And then all you need to do, there'll be a button that says subscribe. Just subscribe. Subscribe to the audio podcast in the app. You're finished. Now you will get every single new show, every new audio in English, of course, in understandable English for you. You'll get it almost every day. They'll be coming into your device automatically. So you've got to do this. If you're only watching on YouTube or Facebook, you're missing so much of my show. You're missing most of it, honestly. I'm doing more and more and more audios. I'm doing fewer videos now. So I hope that helps. Now something else, just put on my screen here. You can get my audiobook for free. I made it easy for you. So lots of people ask about my audiobook. So let's do it. How do you get my audiobook? You go to effortlessenglishclub.com/book. That's it. effortlessenglishclub.com/book. effortlessenglishclub.com/book. You'll see this page I'm showing you on video. It has a picture of my book, and there's a little space. Just put your email in there and click the button, the gold button, the yellow button, and you'll get my audiobook for free. Okay, so again, up here, it's effortlessenglishclub.com/ like the little line, and then book, B-O-O-K. That's it. Free audiobook. All right, that's it. Easy, easy, easy. So, get the audio podcast. I am back. Where have I been? I have been in Hong Kong. Went on a trip to Hong Kong. Had a nice trip. My wife and I, we went. Kind of a wedding anniversary trip. We went just a few days down to Hong Kong. Flew down to Hong Kong from Japan. I'm in Japan now. And quiet? Huh? Yeah. Right. So I was also scouting out something, by the way. I guess I'll go ahead and announce there's no plans yet, but I'm thinking of doing another seminar, another live event, right? A seminar for Effortless English, and I'm wanting to do one in Asia somewhere. I always do them in Vietnam, and I still will, but I'm looking for something more in Northern Asia, so I'm considering Hong Kong. I'm thinking about somewhere in Japan, thinking about Taiwan or Seoul, Korea, and maybe even Guam, maybe the island of Guam. So somewhere in kind of North and East Asia. I'll let you know. So I was doing some research there also in Hong Kong, looking at hotel rooms, looking at seminar rooms, that kind of stuff. So I'll let you know when I decide finally what to do. But anyway, it was a nice time. Had a good time. Pretty good trip. And we enjoyed ourselves too. It was our anniversary, so we kind of made it a fun little trip, a business trip, but we also had a nice lunch together. Discussed some things and then enjoyed ourselves. All right, so I'm back now, back from Hong Kong, back from doing some of that research. And it's time to get started again with the podcast. And we're working on the VIP program. And I thought now I would just catch up with you. It's been a while on video. So I'm just going to read some of your questions and comments and answer them, chat with you for a few minutes, not too long. And then encourage you once again to get the audio podcast because I already did 50 minutes today, 50. In fact, I talked about something very interesting. Actually, it's related to my shirt here. Can you see my shirt? Where we go one, we go all. Cue. I discussed this t-shirt. Well, I discussed what it says on the shirt today. I teach you an idiom, the Streisand Effect, which is something I just recently have been seeing in the news. So this is a phrase you might learn and see in the news. And then I talk about a few other things. I talk about lots of topics for the audio podcast. The audio podcast, I usually do several topics. It's more like a casual chat, kind of like now, where I'll just talk about something, and then I'll talk about something else, and then talk about something else. Sometimes it's just about travel. Sometimes it's about making money. Sometimes it's about something specific with English, like an idiom, like today. So there's a lot of different topics. All right, let's go to some questions and comments, see if you all have any questions. I'm still a little tired from traveling, so not going to be too long tonight. Lots of people saying hello. So hello to all of you. Brazil, as usual, represented very well. How to subscribe to your podcast, I just explained that. Learn with your ears, not with your eyes. That is correct. That is the rule, the Effortless English rule. It's in my book. Learn with your ears, not with your eyes. What does that mean? It means that to speak fluently, you need lots of audio repetition. Audio repetition, in other words, listening. Kind of the opposite of what you do in school. Hi, AJ, your blue eyes are so beautiful. Well, thank you. I'm just reading through the comments here, seeing what people are saying. Lots of people just saying hello. You're an awesome trainer and one of the best teachers in the world. Thank you so much for your help. You are welcome, Andrew. Thank you very much. Very nice. Sukar, thanks a lot. We really feel lonely while you were traveling. Well, I did do one. I did one audio podcast while I was in Hong Kong. I was a little busy doing, we were doing a lot of research and stuff, so that took time and we're going all over the city, so I was a little bit busy and kind of tired too. It was so hot in Hong Kong. Oh, hot and crowded. Salah says, "Hi Jay, when I hear your voice, I'm automatically motivated to learn more and more English. You're a great teacher. Thanks for your efforts." Well, that's good because that's what I'm trying to do. I hope to help you stay motivated by helping you enjoy English. Just enjoy English. That's what the podcasts are about, really. That's why I do lots of topics, especially my audio podcast. I just talk about a lot of stuff. Just anything interesting to me, I talk about it. That's the only rule for my podcast. If I'm thinking about something, I'll talk about it on the podcast. And it's just giving you lots of variety of topics. And of course, everything's in English. Everything is in English, in understandable English for you. That's how you can improve your listening, practice your listening. This helps your speaking. Also, you're hearing correct pronunciation. In other words, a native speaker. I'm a native speaker. So you do all that, but you can just enjoy the topics. You don't need to think about the vocabulary. You don't need to think about the grammar. None of that. So that's what the podcasts are for, just to give you lots of listening. And when you want more specific training and you're more serious, then you can join my VIP program or join one of my other courses, of course. Just enjoy the podcast, though. Okay, common problem. I get this question probably almost every show. I know a lot of vocabulary, but can't use it when I speak. Right, so this is the difference between passive and active vocabulary. This is a normal situation. It's nothing to worry about. Remember, when you speak, you can speak simply. That's fine. It means use the most common words that you know well. You don't need to use every word that you know. It's not necessary. I don't. I know lots and lots and lots of words. I read a lot, so I have a fairly large number of vocabulary words that I know from listening and from reading, but I don't use most of them when I speak. Not necessary. I just don't need them. And I find also that I communicate more powerfully when I use common, simple, direct words and sentences. And you will also. So that's good news for you. It's really good news for you. You need to know and understand a lot of words and phrases. But for actually using them well, much fewer. You just need to know the most common ones. And you can speak very well using the most common words. Some people say 3,000 words, 4,000, 5,000. People have different numbers, but the point is, it's much smaller than the number that you will understand. That's okay. So people get worried about this for some reason, but there's no need to worry about it. Matthew says, "Finally, I got to know how to get your audiobook. I'm going to listen to it. Thank you. You are welcome." We just made this new page so that it's easy for everyone to get my audiobook, right? So just my website, effortlessenglishclub.com. You see it on the screen if you're watching. And then just add /book at the end of that. Slash is like the line, /book. Go there, enter your email, you get the audiobook for free. I'm not sure what this means. How to break up the lonely. No, I'm not sure. I don't understand your question. I'm sorry. So this is mentioning an idiom that I just taught. Michelle says, two sides to the same coin. Two sides of the same coin. Same. In Brazil, we call face or crown. When you're flipping the coin in Brazil, they say face or crown. We say heads or tails. Heads or tails. Same idea. The reason mentioning this, in my audio podcast, I talked about this idiom, two sides of the same coin. I've talked about it in a couple shows, actually, this idiom. Labi is saying, you've been so consistent. I'm a fan from way back. You're a great teacher. Yeah, I have been. I've been doing a lot more shows consistently. A lot of this is because I'm focusing on audio. Video is a little more challenging. I have a good video studio now in my home. This is good. In the past, video was always kind of annoying to deal with because my internet connection was slow, so the video would break a lot. The uploads were very slow. The lighting would be bad. So now when I'm at home, video I can do pretty well, fairly easily. However, audio is still much, much easier because I can still do audio when I travel. The file sizes for the shows, they're much smaller. I have a little small portable audio recorder. I can take it anywhere. I took it to Hong Kong with me. I can just record in my hotel room. I don't need good lighting. I don't need a good internet connection. And the other reason I like audio is because, really I prefer audio, even as a teacher or a performer. Audio is my favorite. Video maybe number 2, but I like audio number 1. And for you, I think just audio is the most useful as a language learner. In general, just it's very convenient. So, and it's the smaller file sizes. They're good for phones. I know a lot of you are using your phones to listen, so you don't have to download this really big file, or you don't have to stream a large file. You can stream a much smaller file with audio. That's why I've been more consistently doing the audio podcasts. Okay, AL says, kind of a long comment, I'll read it. I've been trying to find a good book to read in the category of self-help. I still can't find one. I don't know so much about writers and books, especially in this category. What books or writers would you recommend for me to improve my general knowledge of how to handle people? How to handle people. Give me new thoughts, new visions, new ambitions. Thank you. Well, if you're looking for leadership, social skills, the classic How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie is excellent. It's a classic. It's been around a long, long, long time. Bestseller for a long, long, long time. Dale Carnegie's not alive anymore, but his book is still a bestseller. So that's a great one. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Start with that one. Hey, Jay, what is the subject? The subject really is just answering your questions today. Here's an interesting question. Lamb asks, how to have an energetic voice like you? My voice isn't very clear. It's small. I often feel out of breath when talking. Aha. You have to train your voice, actually. I had to train my voice to make it better. So it's okay if you have a small, weak voice. It's just a habit. You've got to train yourself. Part of it is breathing more deeply. So you get stronger. You can push out the air more strongly. That makes the sound more powerful. One reason I got used to speaking more loudly from doing public speaking, having to talk to large rooms of people, right? So I did this in the beginning with no microphone, so I really had to learn, and teaching also, teaching large classes. I had to learn how to, they call this projecting my voice, meaning push my voice out to the back of the room, to large rooms. And I still do it even when I use a microphone, often. Now, sometimes I'll relax and I won't talk so loudly, But in general, it's a good skill to have. You have to learn how to, I also did a little bit of singing lessons. I was about 6 months of singing lessons. Not really because I wanted to become a singer, but because I wanted to train my voice again. I was really trying to learn the techniques to help my speaking, and it did help. I learned how to relax my throat and control my voice a little better. So singing lessons can also help with speaking. And then lots and lots and lots of practice. I'm doing a large number of classes, recording, podcasts, all of that. You'll get better and better. One more thing. I studied radio, people. I actually I took a class. I had a coach, a professional radio coach, to teach me some of the skills that radio announcers, radio talk show hosts use. Not necessarily talk show, but just radio talk hosts use. Some of the techniques and skills that they have. And I practiced that for a whole year. So you just do that. You train it. It's a skill just like anything else. What's the difference between American English and Australian English? Well, mostly an accent difference, which I can't do an Australian. I can't do it. I can't do an Australian. I can't do a good Australian accent. Sorry, I'm not very good at accents. I only can do ones that I know really well. Obviously, American is my natural accent, the standard American accent. I can do a bit of a Southern American accent, the southeast part of the United States, because I grew up there. All other accents I don't do so well, but there's an accent difference with Australian and American. And also, with each country, there are differences in idioms and slang. So they might, they have certain idioms, phrases they use that we don't use very much. Luckily, because of movies, we understand them mostly. Now, really specific street slang can be difficult. So there's some British slang, street slang, that I don't understand. I've seen it in some movies sometimes, and although often I can figure it out. Usually I can figure out what they're saying, but sometimes not. My recommendation is to listen to both. You don't have to focus just on one country. You can have a favorite country, of course, and a favorite accent. That's fine, but don't limit yourself just because you want to focus on American. You can still listen to British English sometimes. You can still listen to Australian English sometimes. In fact, it's probably good for your listening skill. Get used to hearing those different accents. So it's totally fine. Cherry says, I joined your program and it helps a lot. Well, that's good to hear, Cherry. Thank you so much. I'm happy to have you. I'm glad you joined. Yeah. Sukar says, yesterday I was listening to one of your podcasts. It was about using sign language, especially with kids. I liked it very much. That's a cool, interesting technique. A little bit connected to TPR, but basically it involves teaching beginners, low level, super low beginners, which could be children, could be anybody, and using American Sign Language, any sign language really, but they use American, to teach without translation. Although that's not technically true, because what they're doing is they're using the sign language as the translation. It's called Where Are Your Keys? A strange name, but that's the technique. Where are your keys? I talked about it in one of my audio podcasts. Murad says, I'm good with my pronunciation. Good. But my vocabulary's bad. What's your advice for me and others like me? Well, here's the good news. Pronunciation's harder, more difficult for most people. So the fact that you just need vocabulary, that's actually good news, because all you need to do is read a lot of books. Read books, listen to audiobooks. That will help your vocabulary a lot, and it's enjoyable. AJ, have you talked about the environment in your podcast, I guess? Not recently, no. I don't think so. We did some lessons in the VIP program about that have an environmental focus. Quite several, actually. But I don't think I've mentioned it in the podcast recently. This is another common question I get all the time. How to improve my writing? Read books. That's the first step, is read. Become a reader. Lots of novels, storybooks, things like that. I mean, lots. Reading every day. Constantly reading. This will give you the foundation of good writing. You may need to do some other things after that, but that's the core. That's the center of it. The most important thing. Okay, a couple more. Just scanning through these quickly. Lots of people saying hello. What app, please? Any app, any podcasting app for the podcast. There are many. TuneIn is one, but there are lots of podcasting apps. Okay, here's a kind of a long one. Sid Lim says, this is true, AJ. We need to listen a lot. I did this starting in August of last year, so about a year, when I saw you on YouTube and bought your Power English course. Now I don't hesitate when talking to my colleagues of any nationality. Huge improvement. Awesome. I don't care if I have wrong grammar. Now my morning practice is to listen to your podcast in the morning and before bedtime. See, it works. It's a great success story. Thank you for sharing that. That's exactly what you want to do. Listen. Perfect example. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, I'll do one more and then I'm going to go, because I've already done 50 minutes today on my audio podcast. So, hey, get that podcast. Oh, hey, we got a check-in from Vanya. Let's end with that. Vanya, our traveler. If you've been watching and listening to the show, you will know Vanya is doing a gap year traveling. Hi from Germany now. He's in Germany. I think he was in Poland last time. I love this beautiful country. I moved to this beautiful country a couple days ago. This is another challenge for me, but I really admire it. I admire that. I noticed that in Germany, many young students dedicate a lot of time to self-education. Great. Instead of school learning. Good for them. So I want you to answer, which is more important for future success and living a dream life? Self-development or having a mentor who can share with you some lessons and insights? Interesting question. Very good. I'd say self-development if I have to choose those two. Why that? Because with self-development, you are the master. You are responsible, right? You're being very active. Having a mentor, right? Someone who's successful, who's done what you want to do, and who can guide you and answer questions. That is, of course, useful. We all would love that, right? We would all love for someone to guide us, to have that great experience of a mentor, like a master in the past, right? Like in the martial arts movies, right? The Mr. Miyagi, the great master, guiding us and teaching us. Of course, that's wonderful, but often we can't find that person. Often that person's not around. The other problem is if we just wait for someone like that to come, then we're being passive. We're being passive. We're not taking control and responsibility. And that can be a bad habit because then we just wait for that. The problem with that sometimes is that the student becomes too passive and just waits for the master, waits for the mentor to tell them what to do. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? But when you're just doing self-development, you get a better habit. You have a better habit. Instead of asking someone else, you ask yourself, what should I do? And then your first answer probably is, I don't know. So then your next question is, how do I figure it out? How do I find out? And then you start researching. Then you start reading books. Maybe you look for a mentor or just an expert to ask a question. But you become very active, solving your problems yourself, answering your own questions. And this is such a fantastic, powerful habit for life. Any success in any area of life. Instead of waiting for someone to tell you, you go and you get that answer. And then you make that decision yourself. Sometimes it's a bad decision. It's okay. Like you decided to go to Germany. Why Germany? Why didn't you go to Italy? Why didn't you go to Spain? Why not Brazil? I don't know. You decided because it's your life. And for some reason, Germany was a good choice for you. You didn't need a mentor to tell you, you must go to Germany. You just decided, you figured it out. And then maybe you'll decide somewhere else, which is exactly what you want to do. That decision-making ability to not fear decisions, even when you don't know everything, when it's unsure, but you still make a decision anyway. That is such a powerful ability. It's so necessary. So that's why I think individual self-development is much more important. In my own life, for example, starting my business, Effortless English, and having financial success, I did not have a mentor. I have never had a personal mentor. Some like friend, like Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad. He had Rich Dad guiding him, answering his questions, leading him. I never had that. I had to figure out everything myself by reading books and watching videos and trying things and making mistakes and trying again, making decisions. And so I got in that habit of being active, being the master of my own life, making my own decisions. That is the most important thing. So that's why I think self-development is the more important of those two. If you can find a good mentor, sure, of course. That's very helpful to have someone who's knowledgeable and wants to help you out. That's perfect. But you still have to, ultimately, you are responsible for your own life. You're the master of your own life in the end, finally. And I applaud you for being the master of your life and doing this cool adventure that you're doing. Taking a gap year, going, traveling. So cool. So fantastic. Love it. I'm inspired. Makes me want to get on the road again, Vanya. All right. Well, it's good. That's a good place to end. Let's end with Vanya because that's a fantastic success. Thanks for checking in again. Hey, I'll be back again on video soon. I've got a new audio podcast, 50 minutes long, 50. So get that audio podcast. Go listen to it now. And I'll add another one tomorrow. Lots of love to you. I'm back in Osaka. I'll be doing more videos again soon also. So see you soon. Lots of love. And as always, join my VIP program at effortlessenglishclub.com. effortlessenglishclub.com.